everybody, Adam Keating here, co-founder and CEO of CoLab. I'm going to tell you a little bit about VA/VE, value analysis and value engineering. Hearing a lot about it today, and in this world, recovering from COVID is becoming even more important to engineering value into your product, and then also cut the unnecessary waste and cost at the back end. So we're going to talk about how you can execute more of the right ideas at a fraction of that cost, so you can ultimately achieve better margins and outperform your competitors by increasing the value. So quickly, what is VA/VE? It's really a problem-solving methodology that focuses on increasing the value of a product or service for a customer by reducing cost and advancing the product capability. You kind of have two parts to this. You sort of have the VA element, which is looking at existing products and services and analyzing how to improve those. And then value engineering is focused on new product development. I always kind of joke that I think it should be called VEVA because it's sort of backwards in the definition. But you can think about it almost as like pre-product being manufactured, you've got value engineering. Once you have something out in the field or you're actually operating and selling it, how do you improve that further? And across VA/VE, I think of three important things. It's easy to know about the product, but you also got to understand the process that goes into building the product and the people that go into the process that ultimately build the product to do a really good job of VA/VE. What we're hearing in industry today is that VA/VE is very siloed within an organization. It's workshop based, so it's in discrete bundles in which it really happens. And it's costly to execute because most of it's in person and it often involves physical products and flying people around. What we're innovating towards is a future where VA/VE is really baked into how engineering teams work. It becomes continuous, cross-functional, and integrated virtually into how teams work, so it becomes seamless. And if you really think about the definition of continuous improvement, I see VA/VE being like a core tenet of doing that. But right now, it's just too complicated for that to happen. It's very difficult to connect groups together. There's got to be better ways to do that. And that's one of the things we're working on here at CoLab. So as a quick introduction, CoLab is your home base for effective design conversations, reviews, and decisions built specifically for engineering teams and their supply chains. It's a co-design tool that makes it easy for your teams to evaluate products, generate and execute high-value ideas throughout your entire product lifecycle. So early on when you're concepting a new design, or even once you have something in the field and you're trying to figure out how to improve the cost. How that works in a VA/VE environment is we sort of break it into two different elements, the same way that the definition is. So you think about it from a value analysis perspective, we effectively give you a virtual workspace for your product. We then allow you to work with any of your stakeholders anywhere in the world at any time, and you can choose if it's real time or if it's asynchronous, if it's augmenting an in-person event, or if it's going to be completely virtual. It's totally up to you. When people want to create ideas, it's no longer like put it on a sticky note or add it to a SharePoint site. You can pin that idea right in context of your product. So there's no more confusion. When the team comes in to actually execute this down the road, they're not wondering, which bracket are you talking about when you're talking about removing it or decreasing the thickness. It's built-in communication, so you can work with your team directly through here, so things are not being lost offline in teams and the rest. And we actually help you prioritize. So, it's one thing to create ideas. It's another thing to actually figure out which ones you should execute on and learn how to actually better and better quality ideas from these events. Everything then is linked directly to your engineering team. So there's one system for not just like the VA element, but actually taking that through then and making the change to your product. Give you a bird's eye view of where things are too. There's no more creating spreadsheets and trackers to see the ideas automatically created. Gives you a dashboard, a table, a Kanban view, and you can see what's happening. And you have total control. Do we do this in person and use CoLab on the side? Or do we try to go virtual most of the time and get most of that value at a fraction of the cost? For new products, it really starts with the very similar tools, but being proactive. So instead of having ad hoc review processes that, sometimes happen at a gate, we can actually build in early and often review cycles so you can get cross-functional alignment early on and find these ideas throughout your entire life cycle, pre-manufacturing. Everything then is tracked, organized, and actioned, and you don't need to spend any time managing that. So as a manager, director, you have full overview of what's happening from the early stages onwards. Connected with your CAD and PLM, so there's no moving data around. You're not dumbing down your data into PowerPoint decks and screenshots and exports. Your native stuff right in your browser, easy to access. Send a link to somebody, and they have full context right away. And it works the exact same way for many use cases. So it could be a drawing review, could be a model review, could be DFM. It's the same couple set of tools, and it's very quick to run. And for anyone who's interested, I can prove this to you in like a 30 to 60 minute workshop where I'll actually walk you through a VA/VE event online with some of the existing models that we've created previously as engineers ourselves. And the last part that's sort of beautiful about this is there's a free license available for you bringing in, less frequent, light users, either inside your org or outside your org, your supply chain, so they can just get in on a link and contribute with you. At the end of the day, we tie all that back together. So it's not just about VA/VE and creating ideas. We're an execution engine to actually help you take those and actually bring them right through to the fact that they're actually getting, either integrated in the next cycle of the product or into that, product before it gets into production. Next up, what we're going to do, my co-founder Jeremy was one of the captains of Mun's Baja team back in 2016, 2017, built this awesome Baja car, competed internationally in SAE competitions. We've actually got all the design models, so models, design bases, drawings. We're going to put together a virtual VAV event, really focus on the VA element of this now, and we're going to tear down that design, really focused on the gearbox and suspension and how we can improve that for the team. But what we're going to do is showcase how your team could really be doing this virtually as well. If you're interested in actually seeing what it could look like for your product or doing it with your team, reach out to me. Happy to set that up. Otherwise, check out what's going to happen with the Baja Kart. We've done this with a couple of teams over the last little while. It's been an eye-opener and B, a good time. And I think at the end of the day, in the span of 30 minutes, teams see completely how they can transform their VAV process to be more effective. Thanks for listening today. Really appreciate it and looking forward to helping folks design better products faster.